happiness is a choice. And you accessing the infinite to claim what's truly yours, that is your choice today too. And the great news is you don't have to think it all up. You don't have to figure it out. Like, how relieving is that? Like, you don't have to come up with a plan. You just got to get out of the way and believe and have faith and allow it to be brought to you. You've gotten great at divine working, but what about divine living? Welcome to the Divine Living Podcast. I'm your host, Gina DeVee. You're not alone in wanting more. And here at the Divine Living Podcast, you can expect to be part of conversations from women like us who unapologetically dream big and are obsessed with manifesting our most fabulous lives. The conversation starts now. Well, first of all, welcome. I'm so honored and delighted that you're in the Q Club and prioritizing your queenhood. Not just business and work and money making, which are certainly important things to support a queen. But there are other pieces as well, and community and femininity and, wellness and self-care and spiritual connection and, all things fabulous also support being a queen. And so I'm really delighted that you're here. I wanted to do this podcast today because I've just really been in a deep dive of personal and spiritual and career exploration. And I know that I'm not the only one. And I've shared, very transparently, since the beginning of 2021, I want to phrase this differently. I did not catch prior to it all happening that my life and career was drastically going to change. And it was a very painful process for me, basically because I was in such resistance and I wasn't practicing spiritual principles and I wasn't open to the flow and I was relying on outdated masculine dynamics of thinking that I needed to fix something or control something or keep something that was happening from happening. And in the process, I was making it mean all these things that it didn't. My ego was taking a hit. I was feeling, the external stuff doesn't really matter. I'm I'm willing to share. Business wasn't working. My launches weren't working. The numbers weren't working. And there were changes in the team. There were changes in my close circle of friends, like friends were exiting. It was this very triggering time for me. And it wasn't until I share this, my father went into the hospital in March and he is okay now. Unexpectedly, he went in for an unexpected surgery. And it was just one of those cliche moments where nothing else mattered. And I was there sitting by his bedside and just really went into the question, like I'm sure you are as well. What am I doing with my life? Like, what am I doing with my life? And it wasn't from the neck up question anymore. It was like from the belly of my soul. And I stopped long enough to listen for the answer, to create the space for an actual answer from the divine to come in. And for the first time at this level, I was deeply, deeply asking for divine direction. I was like, okay, you know what? My ideas aren't working. My way of doing life and business isn't working. My way of doing just like leadership and friendship stuff wasn't working. And I was just really asking the deeper questions. What am I here for? Like, what do I want my life to look like? What is my calling? Who are my people? What is my purpose? So I'm sure that you can relate because we didn't go through this pandemic for no reason. We also did not go through this pandemic just to keep doing the same stuff or try to get back to life as usual. And I know that so many people are very excited about that. But I know, I talked about this in the message of why I'm hosting the event in New York City with my friend Danelle Delgado, July 30th through August 1st. And we'll make sure that you've got the link in the show notes for the podcast and for everyone here listening, if you want to come join us. We're about 50% sold out on those tickets. But what I wrote there is there's going to be this divide. And there's all these people that are so excited to get back to life as usual. And then there's going to be the new feminine leaders. And that's what I know that you're here for. You are here for the next evolution. You're here for the next level. You're here for the higher contribution, and you're here for more fun and greater abundance and really just magnetizing opportunities and your people and your message and your special gifts to be brought forward in the world. And that doesn't come from us thinking it up. It doesn't come from us doing same old, same old. It doesn't come from another 3-step process or a free report or even a webinar. It could only come from the miraculous realms. And so for us to cultivate such a deep faith and a feminine knowing that is filled with power and love and courage and confidence, that who you are is enough. And like my friend Ashley Stahl always says, and who you are always wins. So we got to get into who we are at this era in our lives. And when you're seeking divine direction from the infinite, from infinite possibility, that's where all healing takes place. That's where all miracles are made manifest. That's where your life just gets so sparkly and bigger. And I know they always talk about it. I used to think it up as an entrepreneur, like that it was like, and life will get even better than you imagined. And it did for me on a certain level of entrepreneurialism. And now it has just quantum leaped and gone into the ethers. What happened was when I was sitting there in that hospital room with my father, and I let go of my resistance and went into a state of surrender, what occurred was bliss. It's like we live in a void universe. And what that means is when you take a rock out of the ocean, immediately a wave swoops in. And when I took that resistance out, it was the rock that was stopping the flow of what my next level was, not what I could do or could have made happen. And we've all been there as business owners where, you just had to brush yourself off and pull a rabbit out of a hat and try again and pick yourself up and push forward and all those things. And I've done those, and that has served me well. But that was only going to get me same old, same old. And my soul just couldn't take it anymore. And I have a really, really distinct feeling you feel the same. Like you just can't, like, even if you could push it forward again, like it's just not worth it. Like your soul just won't have it because you know that the bigger and the better, and your feminine spirit knows that there's a different way. And so what I did to cultivate this next level activated all my faith muscles. Because as much as I consider myself a spiritual woman and, wrote a book that was pretty deeply ingrained in feminine principles, there's another level that's come to me in the living of my life. And when I removed money-making sources as I knew it, when I removed my nuts and bolts business building programs, which was I had so wrapped up my identity in, when I removed the business model that has been very generous to me, when I thought about letting go of working with clients that has been so meaningful and was like what I thought I was here for, what I thought I was going to do forever. When I removed certain friends from my inner circle, there was just all of this space, all of this unknowing, all of this. And I'm not a person that thought she needed a lot of certainty, but that's a lot of certainty to let go of. I'll give myself that, and I'll give you that too if you're in this place. And I could just see how the neurological pathways in my brain kept pushing forward and pushing forward and pushing forward. It was like, but wait, but like, how are you going to make money, and how are you going to keep your team, and like, but how like how are you going to contribute? Like, it was all this like flutter and nervous energy, and I had a choice. I had a choice to choose anxiety or activate my faith. And I activated my faith, and I thought, if I'm being divinely guided, if I've been given this direction, God's not setting me up to lose. The universe isn't setting me up to be broke. I'm still here on the planet. And as Real Talk Kim says, if I have a pulse, God's got a plan. And I thought, what if I didn't choose anxiety? What if I didn't go into stress? What if I did believe it would all work out? What if I did believe that when I was supposed to take an action, that it would be made clear and I would take the action? What if I believed the universe had my back? What if I believed that the money would show up, not just on time and in the amounts that it needed to show up in, but in a way that really felt like my soul was thriving? Like, can you feel how good it feels to ask some of these questions? Because these are what we want the answers to, not the other stuff. What if the money doesn't show up? What if the way isn't made clear? What if I'm not meant for greatness? Like who wants the answer to that? Like, we are powerful creators, and we know this from all the personal development stuff. And so now to really get in sync, to be divinely guided at this level with that much of a blank slate. And I'm sure, look, I'm not the first woman in the world who's had to start over, or I didn't even have to, who answered the call, albeit kicking and screaming initially. But ultimately, I did answer the call. And I'm proud of myself that I listened. It was a whisper. Let the old way go. New is coming. And this is what I want for you. I want you to know how important, special, loved, powerful, capable, and meant for greatness that you are. And I know that because I believe that for all humans. This is the feminine way. The masculine way would say that there's a winner and there's a loser, and that there's not space for everybody, and that we need to work on a competitive realm. The feminine way is, we are all children of God. We are all created from greatness. We all have access to the infinite. We are all here for a very important purpose. And my desire is to remember that for myself, and to take a stand for all women owning that as well. We've been made wrong for being too confident, and then we're told that we are full of ourselves, and that we're narcissistic, and that we're cocky, or that we're, bitchy, when we're actually just being a boss, right? And all of these ways that we have been held down, other people are going to have to take responsibility for their role in that. And today, so do we. Today, we need to take the lid off of what we have been letting hold us down, because happiness is a choice. And you accessing the infinite to claim what's truly yours, that is your choice today too. And the great news is, you don't have to think it all up. You don't have to figure it out. Like, how relieving is that? Like, you don't have to come up with a plan. You just got to get out of the way and believe and have faith and allow it to be brought to you. I could say call it in and all that, but even that's a whole bunch of work that the personal development books say that, but I don't read anywhere in the Bible that says that. That just happens to be my spiritual source. It's like, where in the Bible does it say call it in? It says pray. It says believe. It has faith. It says, keep the faith. Call it like my yoke is easy and my burden is light. And so I'm choosing ease today. And I remember at the beginning of this process, I would say, okay, I'm going to choose bliss. And I'm not going to, I thought, well, I'm going to wrap up my business programs as I know it. I'm going to take the summer off. And then by the fall, God, I'm sure you're going to be giving me instruction by then. So I'm just like not going to stress about money, finances, identity. What am I supposed to do? Stuff until then. Well, that seemed like a pretty, logical path for me and that my brain could handle. And as soon as I made that declaration, I could feel almost like an external entity that was like this ball of stress, worry, and fear was like coming at me. And it was like whispering. I could hear it like from the distance, like, but how are you gonna make money? And I was like, no. Like, I wouldn't let it in my brain. I wouldn't let it take root. And the more I practiced that, the easier it became. Like, to live in complete faith, to live in complete confidence, to live being only available for divine direction. Like, if I'm guided to something and it shows, like, I'm not going to go make it happen. I'm not going to go figure it out. I'm not going to go push. None of the stuff that I did to build my business. And when I did that, everything's just been opening up. So, P.S., I didn't have to wait until September, which I was happy to do, for new direction to come in. It's been coming in left, right, and center in such abundant ways. It's actually, if I would let myself, like, I would choose my words consciously here. Let's just say the cup runneth over for sure in all of the areas, like new friends, new opportunities, new business collaborations, new money, like stuff coming in so easily without the trying, without the effort. So I suppose that this is what the Course in Miracles talks about when it talks about effortless accomplishment. And when I say there's like so much abundance coming in, when I had like, there's like, I can't find the right words right now because I want to use such conscious language. There's just not even enough time in the day to like manage it all. There, I said it unconsciously, but I'll figure out the right way to say it. Like, it's truly my cup runneth over, and I'm in complete bliss and complete joy. So I was in Los Angeles last week, and I had lunch with a friend that I hadn't seen in a long time, and so he was like, "What's going on? What's happening? This, that," and I was like, "Well." And I basically told him everything that I told you, slightly more succinctly. But I told him the part like, yeah, business as I know it is over, allowing the next guidance to come in, still collecting the pieces on what exactly that looks like. And the first thing he said to me was like, don't you worry about money. Now, P.S., this is a super, super, super crazy successful human who's super, super, super famous also. And I remember one time I was at a dinner, this was like years and years ago, and I watched all these like multiple 7-figure business owners at dinner, and I was like broke as a joke at the time. And they were sitting there, like somebody was saying, yeah, I'd like to, but like, I don't have the money for that, or I want to do this, but I don't have the money for that. And I was like, what is up with these people who are making all this money that are like talking this way? I just thought like, if you had more money that like, that's, that stuff goes away. And it doesn't until you work on it. because it really is wealth consciousness. And I could see that, like, the amount of money and fame and all the things that my friend had, like, that was the first place his brain went to also. And I said, um, I'm not worried. I'm not worried. And I started to say, like, different sources of income have been showing up and different opportunities are coming in. Um, and I know that it came in because my stress and worry wasn't blocking it. Like, that's how the flow was actually able to come. And so I'm not talking about doing a spiritual bypass here, like stick your head in the sand or just sit on your couch and meditate and think that, like, that's what you're supposed to do. I'm talking, the divine always has the answer. The divine always shows up at perfect timing. And sometimes we're guided to do things that either we don't want to do or we feel a little uncomfortable with, or that can happen as well. That hasn't happened on this recent bliss ride that I've been on. Like, everything that's come to me has been out of my comfort zone, yes, but it's been like a yes, okay, because I'm so excited about it. Yes, because I actually do deeply desire this new level and this new way of being. And so knowing that so much more is available than what the human eye can see right now. But something that I wrote about in my book is the feminine way is to be able to see things not as they are, but as they could be. So I invite you to take a deeper look within your own soul right now. Like, what are the real desires? Not what do you think you have to do to make money or to make other people happy? What are your real desires? If you were able to design your life, which you are, what does that look like? Like, how does it feel? Where would you be living? How would you show up? How would you make money in the most pleasurable way? What level of contribution would you be making, and what form would that contribution show up in? And if you're not clear, like I wasn't at the beginning, maybe start by removing. Start with the removal process and start taking the rocks out of the ocean of your desires. Start taking out, and what does that mean exactly? Stop saying yes when you want to say no. Stop saying no when you want to say yes. Stop doing all the things that you just don't like, that don't feed your soul. And when you, as a business owner, either start delegating or deleting, and for you mothers out there, sort of the same thing, let yourself actually say yes to more of what has you feel good, to more of what excites you. Now, it's not going to seem logical at the beginning. And at the beginning, it might even be like, is this allowed? Is this okay? Can I really prioritize myself at that level? Yes, Queen. Yes. Not only can you, you must. If you're going to be available to live your real life, if you're going to really let yourself be dazzled by the divine, seeing what actually, what else, what new, what next level is possible for you. That's the gift of this time. And don't get distracted with all the people that are trying to run back to same old, same old. You're here for new. You're here for a new direction. You're here for connection with the divine. You're here for epic. You're here for epic. And not only is it available to you, like, it's already done. The divine has a plan for you. Now it's up to you to start taking all the clutter out that's been blocking the vision, blocking the hearing, blocking your intuition. Because when so much conditioning has come in telling us, well, we have to do life in a certain way, we have to do business in a certain way, we have to do money in a certain way, like it's law, then we're not open to hearing the whispers of what the divine is dangling in front of you, that's like, this can be you. This is yours. You too are capable, because I've created you that way. So let it in, Queen. Let it all in. And if you'd like some help with that, get it. You deserve to be supported. And sometimes it doesn't always come through us individually. I work with my own coaches too, and there's blocks that I don't see. I was actually texting with my coach last night, and I was like, the situation came up, like it seems like there was going to be like a dead end on something that I really wanted, and she, like, in one sentence sent this text, well, why don't you try this? And I was like, oh right, it could be that easy. It could be that easy. And so if you'd like some support with that, is exactly why Danelle Delgado and I, my dear, dear soul sister and friend, are teaming up to support 50 women in New York City. We're 50% sold out right now. And if you want us to pour into you and to be around our big thinking and be in the room with 49 other women who are just so determined to not just create a new plan. Any human in a journal can do that. But what we're going to be doing in the room over those 2 days, right after the white party on Friday night, July 30th, but on Saturday, July 31st and August 1st, for those 2 days, we're going to be opening up the vortex, opening up the space to really intricately and in a customized way, go into you, so that you will have it revealed to you what your next level is, what you're really meant for. And it's not going to come from thinking it up or pushing it or making it happen or looking around to see what someone else has done. You are going to get divine direction, because that is what this new world is waiting for. It's waiting for a woman like you who's opening up to all of the bigness and all of the greatness that's inside of you. So if you want to get yourself registered, you can go to divineliving.com/direction. And for the podcast, we'll put the link in the show notes as well. Give yourself this gift. It's going to be so fun. Like I said, we're having a white party the first night. It's going to be so just good for the soul to be in the same room and reconnect with some familiar faces and some brand new ones as well, because this world is looking for this kind of woman who's showing up and stepping up. And like I said, there's no just like going through the motions, and there's zero status quo happening here. This is all about accessing the infinite, like so confidently, deeply knowing your purpose and letting it be given to you. That's what's going to be going on in those 2 days. Total life changing. You will not walk out with the same consciousness, the same feeling, the same vision that you had when you walked in. It's gonna be so much bigger, so much more expansive. I can't hang out with Danelle for like 2 seconds without having my mind be blown in terms of big, big thinking. And she'll be the first to say that I've made a pretty big difference in her life as well. So if you feel aligned with this, come join us. Like I said, we're 50% sold out, and I want to see you in the room. If I can help you and nurture you and support you and mentor you into this next calling of your life, it would be my great honor. Because women suffering in silence, being confused, unclear, handling it alone. I don't want any woman going through what I went through in January and February of 2021. It was so unnecessary. There's certain things that happen in life that it is part of life, and we've got to learn to be a queen about it. But what I did in January and February, I self-manufactured pain. What was going on for me, and I couldn't see it myself because I wasn't in a community. I was thinking that there was something wrong with me. I was thinking that everybody else's businesses were working and launches were working except for mine. I was thinking that everybody else was like, hanging out on Clubhouse together except for me. And I had all this compare and despair going on. So whether you're like super confident and you just want to come be around me and Danelle and all the other amazing women in the room to like blow up your next level, or you're like, man, I got to get out of this stuck state I've been in. I'm not available for status quo and I'm done with hope addiction, then you got it. Then come join us. The opportunity and the offer is there, at least for those of you who can make it live in the room to New York City. So let yourself access the power, the clarity, the confidence, and the dazzle of the infinite. You'll see your life, it's going to get reimagined, and it's you, but better. All right, Queen. So these are some of the gifts that I have been receiving, some of the ways of being that like, and really anchoring in the stress isn't necessary. The worry, the concern, the fear isn't necessary. And all of the abundance in every form, it's there for us. It's just a matter of accessing it. So I'm super, super excited to see what that is for you and see what that looks like, and letting us all just really dance with the divine together. All right, let's close with a prayer. Dear God, thank you for waking us up. Thank you for reawakening the feminine spirit within us all, so that we could live life in the way that you have truly designed. Not the pushing and the fear and the overworking and all of the hustle, but really seeking you, getting your divine guidance, your divine direction, your fullness in us. Thank you for showing us the feminine way on how to return to fun and pleasure and play, that success really comes through you, and the feminine way is through collaboration, not isolation. Help us say yes to this next level together. Help us have the courage to not only hear what your calling is, but have the confidence to take action on it. Because we know that your ways are higher, and we pray all of this believing. Amen. Amen, amen, amen. All right, my loves. That was my behind the scenes podcast. Oh my goodness, how much did you love this conversation? Please go ahead and take a screenshot of this episode right now. And I want you to tag me on Instagram and share with me what your biggest takeaway was. I love being in conversation with you, hearing from you, DM me. And I really love getting what is the one big takeaway that you got from this episode. Let me know on Instagram.